All right, hello and welcome to another edition of the Spotter Stand, coming at you live this week from Phoenix International Raceway. Once again in the booth, it's BSR Pockets and BSR Hot Rod joining us up here on the Spotter Stand. How's everybody this week?
Good. What's up, everybody?
Well, we have got another great show for you this week. It's been another great week of racing as we close in on the end of the season. Just one race left to go for all three of these major series at Homestead, and we will polish off another season of racing here at BSR. Let's
Crazy.
yeah,
Crazy talk.
crazy. Let's kick it off. We've got just a couple of picks to share with everybody this week. We're going to start out with a picture here from Larry Yeager Jr., BSR Hot Rod, as you all remember, recent winner of the Commander Board Sign 200. And there's a pic of that trophy he's got hanging up over an archway there in his house. Everybody wanted to get that, and Larry ended up bringing it home. And he's got it hanging on the wall right there, passing under it every single day.
Everybody comes in my house has to walk under it.
Well, I just wished it was hanging in my house instead of yours, but you earned it. So that's a great picture. That's a great. I just love that trophy. That's that trophy's cool. I mean, it just really is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
One of a kind.
One of a
You know what I
kind.
mean?
We got to thank Steve Looney for all the good hard work that he put in on that. That thing is absolutely awesome. It's a great job. Shaped like the track. You can see pit road there. Got the start finish line on it. Yeah, that's awesome, man. You're lucky to have that one, Larry. That's for sure. We got one more pick for you this week from BSR Pockets. Recent winner of Drunken Cow Jerky. He won the little mini series we had at Texas last week, the 3-race series. He was best overall finisher in the Truck Cup and Xfinity with all 3 races added together. And there's Pockets holding up 4 bags of Drunken Cow Jerky. I'm assuming, didn't you get 5 for that, Pockets? The other one was Wolf Bites?
No, that's 5 bags. You just can't see the other one back there. There's 5 there.
Notice he's got his own flavor right there, the hot, sitting right on the front, driver of the number 38 hot car. You can't blame him for that. We notice you, looks like you trimmed that ZZ Top beard there a little bit.
I got it trimmed down just a little bit there. It was getting out of control. Getting close to Christmas, so I'm going to let it grow out so I can look like Santa Claus.
Hey, he's got his 38 BSR Pocket shirt on, got the Drunken Cow Jerky hat on, and of course, holding up the number 1 sign there because he was number 1 when it came to that series, and that's what it took to bring home that jerky, man. Thanks for sending this pick in.
You're welcome. Yes, that was that thing was on my radar because when you put 3 races, 3 different mods, same track, 3 different races, that's I was really gunning for that deal. I was playing it real smart, not try. You know what I mean? Because if you're a points racer, you can beat on averages. I never even I think second was as high as I got. And I got lucky getting a second, but it was close too. It was only by 2 or 3 points, so that's one we're proud of this year with all the racing and everything that we've done. That little deal, and thanks to Rick Craddock, he's the one that sponsored that deal, the Real Tech Texas Challenge. So we were really happy to take his prize of the beef jerky. And we've been enjoying it. So, yeah, it was a good deal.
Yeah, quite a few other drivers also won some jerky last week. So I'm sure there'll be some more picks sent in. And on our final edition for the season of the Spotter Stand next week at Homestead, I'm sure we'll have quite a few more prize picks for you. And some boomerang picks as well. I know I've already received my boomerang. I haven't gotten a pick of it yet. I believe one of the other boomerang winners has gotten his, and Pocket should be getting his sometime this week. So we'll have some pictures of those boomerangs and some more Drunken Cow Jerky for you next week. But let's get on to this week's racing. We're going to start out with Wednesday night. Wednesday night truck series. We raced at Phoenix all 3 nights this week, as we will again next week at Homestead to finish off the season. And in the truck series at Phoenix, it was KJ Kilojoules in that number 029 GameStop truck that brought home the victory at Homestead. Great job, KJ.
Yes, great win to KJ. Ricky J second, Texan third, Terry Scott fourth, and Danny Hardy top 5.
Well, as you'll see, as most of you already know, we're going to see KJ's renders here a few times this week. He did a great job, had an outstanding week of racing at Phoenix. The kind of week we wish we could all have every once in a while. Let's take a look at the points with just one race to go in this truck chase.
That's what I'm interested in seeing in all 3 of these series. This week was just one of the battles of the war, and I want to look at the score to the war.
It looks like after the Phoenix race, I pretty much, I think, wrapped up this Truck Series championship with Axel Foley sitting in second place, 30 points back. BSR Pockets in third, moved up a spot, down by 45. BSR Brain Fade dropped a spot to tie Terry Scott for fourth place, both down by 46. And you got Monty Keller sitting just outside the top 5 there, down by 55. And with a 30-point gap, we usually average between 18 and 20 some odd drivers. So I could probably miss that race and still wrap up this championship, I think.
So you're calling it. You're officially calling it right here on the spotter stand that BSR Texan is the 2018 DrunkenCowJerky.com Wednesday night Truck Series champion. Calling it. What do you think, Larry?
I think that's a solid bet. I don't see him losing it.
Well, I am off this coming Wednesday, so I have been known to fall asleep for a race. One race this season that's going to keep me from getting that Ironman award that goes out at the end of the season to everybody who makes all the races in all 3 of these major series. But I doubt that's going to happen. I'm planning on showing up for Homestead all 3 nights. So 30 points is going to be, that's going to be tough. We're going to have to get we're going to have to get a lot more drivers. Pretty much, most all of the regulars are going to have to show up, and then some of the guys who can't make a lot of the races would have to show up. It's not unheard of that we have 30 plus drivers in there. So it's a possibility, but I'm guessing, 18 to 23 drivers, 24 drivers. So that pretty much wraps it up, I think.
Hey, did what you needed to do. You're far enough out there that you don't really have to worry about it unless something just freakish happens. So that, you pretty much got that wrapped up.
Yes, considering there's not even 30 points in this, or 30 people in the standings total. So that be tough. They'd have to have a miracle show up.
I will tell you this. I've been spending quite a bit of time down there in the scheduling and scoring department offices with Larry Hot Rod here. We've been looking at these points and everything, and we still stand by our point system because of how close it still is. Now, you've pretty much run away with it here. You've been fortunate. You had some good races and stuff like that, but I want to point out second through, what is that, 6th?
Yep.
Now, with one race to go, pretty much that's
up in the air, pretty much.
Sixth is mathematical, but that would be Axel Foley. I mean, we seen him lose 19 positions in a race just a week or so ago. So, if you look at that 45, 46, you got Terry Scott. He's a champion of this series. He's sitting there in 4th. Think he doesn't want to finish 2nd or 3rd? I guarantee it. Brain Fade, he's fighting for it too. So that's going to be very interesting when we go to Miami. This race is going to be hotly contested back there for those 4 or 5 positions. You're going to see some people racing. The cameras will probably be on the leaders, but the race is going to be back where these guys are because they've raced each other all year long, and it comes down to this, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. What about you, Larry?
I'm truly convinced that the point separation, the runaway, so to speak, with Texan is solely based on the diversity of tracks in this chase series.
We did discuss that the amount of road courses
And
and
short tracks and everything.
different styles of racing is what has led to Texan being class of the field here and basically clinching before we head into Miami. But he still has to show up to get the trophy and all that stuff. So he'll be fine. But hey, you've had a great run. What do you think about our theory about the diversity led to the success of the 201 Drunken Cow Jerky original team?
Well, I think it definitely comes into play, as you said, having the road course in the chase. Some of the short tracks. This series has got a few tracks in it in the chase in the last 10 races that the others don't. And you guys know I love the road courses. Uh, you know, um, Even if I don't get a victory, as long as I don't blow some gears, which I've been known to do on many occasions, then I'm generally going to have a top three finish usually. So yeah, that definitely helps, and I think I've been consistent. In this particular series, I just haven't had any bad luck really. I don't think I've had any terrible finishes. I've managed to be inside the top 10 in pretty much every race, and probably quite a few top fives in this series.
Well, I can tell you for me personally, I just have to tell you I'm super excited and just glad to be up here on the spotter stand where we're going to be talking about your successes for the next 2 freaking weeks minimum. So I just wanted to get that out of the way to tell you that I'm just glad to be here for that.
Well, I can officially say, Pockets, that I have definitely improved on last year's point position.
Well, absolutely, and that's all you can ask for. And I mean, I've said it many times. You look at these points all the way back to 10th place. In this series, the truck series that's the one where a lot of people, they may miss a race or two or something like that because even 3 season long points races is still that's a tough schedule to pull off. But still, with seeing that those guys right there, I mean, you're looking at the top tier drivers, the guys that showed up, they've raced, they've let the scoreboard do the eliminating and all of that, and we go into Miami with a really close battle there. That, like I said, that the Wednesday series, the truck series, it's trucks, and so it's a little bit different than the other two, but that just shows that the point system and everything is working out great.
Well, let's move on and take a look at Thursday night. Thursday night is the Cup Series, also ran at Phoenix this Thursday. And once again, it was Kilojoules and at number 029 who brought home yet another victory at Phoenix. This is, one of his favorite tracks. He was in the spotter stand chat last week talking about how much he enjoyed Phoenix, was planning on being here for these races. And, you can see why this is one of his favorite tracks because he absolutely runs great here. I know he had a really loose car Thursday night. He was fighting it quite a bit, but managed to make some changes and get a hold of it and, dominated that race and brought home the victory.
Yes, congrats to KJ on a good win. Texan second, Rick Craddock third, Terry Scott fourth, and Nelly rounds out top 5.
Rick Craddock
coming back in there. Rick Craddock
second place. As you know, he was pretty close in the points. This was a close series. This one and the Friday night, the points were very close. Rick Craddock and Terry Scott, I believe, were both right up there close in second and third. Let's take a look at how they shook out after this race here at Phoenix. I still hold the top spot. I did gain a little bit on Rick Craddock, finishing 1 spot ahead of him. Rick did move up to second place. down by 9 points. And I was wrong. It was Axel Foley.
Who had the bad luck. That's
Yeah,
right.
he had the bad luck. He was in second place going into this race. Terry Scott also moved up a spot ahead of Axel to take over third, now down by 14. Axel dropped 2 spots to fourth, down by 15. And Momo rounds out the top 5, down by 20. Yeah, I believe Axel was down only by 5 points going into this race, but Phoenix, not a great track for him. He was talking about how much he hated Phoenix and just, couldn't get a handle on the track and ended up losing 10 points to the lead in that race to drop back by 15. But Rick Craddock is still right there, only down by 9 points. Really, Terry Scott, Axel Foley, even Momo, none of these guys in the top 5 out of it really feasibly. Because like I said, we've had the last few weeks 20 plus drivers, right? In the range of 20 to 22 drivers showing up. And Homestead being the last race of the season, I wouldn't be surprised to see another, 20 plus drivers show up. And bad luck can happen. And Rick Craddock at only 9 points. If he says he runs good here. So if he manages to take a victory at Homestead and I finish back 7th, 8th place, he could steal this championship away.
The Foot Doctor and I have also analyzed this series and the points going into the last race at Miami Championship Week. And we pointed out that a fella in your position, 9 points ahead of second place, 14 of third, 15 of fourth, and 20 to fifth. All right. We witnessed, and Larry and I pointed out the fact that we watched Axel Foley lose 19 positions in a race. And Larry added that up. And how many points did that end up costing him, Larry? I remember we had discussed that. I don't know if you remember that exact number, but he lost 19 positions in one race due to I think an engine failure or something, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, his motor blew. And
Yes.
he ended up finishing dead last or very close to last. Yeah.
Yeah, very close to last if it wasn't dead last.
And that was with 3 races to go left in the chase, I believe. So, I mean, you look at that, Texan, that's got to make you nervous.
Absolutely it does, especially when you count in lead a lap bonus points, lead the most lap bonus point, and win the race points. It's not just the positions necessarily. Like, if Axel or Momo even, if Momo were to get out there 20 points back, lead the most laps in the race. If I don't lead any laps at all and had a bad finish, Momo leading the most laps, that's 2 bonus points, one for leading a lap, one for leading the most. Then if he were to win the race, that's another couple extra points on top of that. So just you could figure in an extra 4 points on top of finishing positions. So yeah, I'm a little nervous here. I'm still trying to be the first guy to sweep all 3 championships here. I don't think it's ever been done here at BSR. We've had several times where the same guys won 2, but never all 3. And that's a first. And I would like to be that guy that does that for the first time and is able to bring home all 3, because I don't know if it'll ever happen again.
Here's the other thing that you really probably should take into consideration and put in your back pocket and be concerned about. Rick Craddock, defending champion of this race from last year, is going to try to stake a claim.
So Rick Craddock did win this race last year.
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah, that makes me even more. Where did I finish? Do you have those stats up?
Give me 1 second and I will hand them to you.
Yeah, that makes me even more nervous, because if he won, he probably led a lot of the laps as well. So, leading the most laps, even if I managed to lead one lap.
Texan, do you really want to know where you finished in this race last year?
Oh, from the sound of that, I don't know if I do. Where did I finish?
You finished second to last.
Oh my God.
In a 23 car field.
Oh yeah. I don't want to, I didn't even, why do we have to bring that up?
No, basically what we're saying is that you're not gonna just be able to start your engine and take that golden helmet home. You're gonna have to get out there and get after it.
You
And
know,
here's the thing about Homestead. I wanted to point out one thing about Homestead that I love about Homestead, because I remember Homestead. I know Homestead, but that we only race it one time a year, and it's at the end, the very last race. Most people forget about it. But that track is super fast, man. I love that track. People forget about how good that track actually
It's
is.
it's faster than Phoenix. It's kind of
It's
kind.
does it say, Larry, did I have an engine failure or?
No, you were running, I believe. Hang on. Let me bring it back up.
I don't think I was running because I remember that race now. Last season, at the end of the season, we were having a lot of the chase races broadcast by Mark Dillon. And I recall being out of that race early. I was glad that I had actually already clinched that at Phoenix. I believe I brought home the win at Phoenix last season, and
you
I
had
clinched.
you had a gearbox.
Yeah. So yeah, I blew I think third and fourth gear or something like that. Blew fourth gear, one of the others. But yeah, I remember being out of that race early and going into the booth with the broadcasters to watch the rest of it. I'm gonna have to get in and do some practice, work on my setup a little bit, and try to make sure that doesn't happen to me again because I've far from clinched this series, and it's going to be a battle next week. This week.
I can't wait. I'm excited. There's some other points battles going on back through there. Look at there, 46 and 47 and 48, but
Yep,
and
the
Larry
first
with
five.
53.
Yeah, the first five, and then the next five, all pretty tight battles.
And if you think that those 4 or 5 guys right there ain't gonna race each other as hard as they can for those very valuable 1 points, you would be mistaken because and seeing it goes down to again to those bonus points. If you didn't have any of those bonus points right now, what would be the difference? You see what I'm saying? So it works out perfectly and it still allows you to race close. And I mean, we've ran this way all year long, and that's just we're at the last race and we've raced each other hard all year long, and this is going to be what decides it all right here for what I like to call the smack talking sessions, because whoever finishes right here gets to talk the smack amongst this little backpack back here, which is where usually a lot of the smack talking takes place back here, where you know what I mean. We're talking about 7th place, so but we're proud to finish 7th in this series because it's tough. I'm telling you.
Mr. Mr. Pockets, I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm in 10th place and can't go no deeper in the field. That's so
Sometimes
what we can bring.
I can tell you this. It'd almost be better to be in that position than to be in Texan's position because he's got everything to lose.
Absolutely,
that's got to be carrying a little weight when he rolls in there Thursday. But we'll see. He's pretty good. He is a champion, so we'll see if he can pull it off.
Yeah,
Good luck, Texan.
I am the defending champion of this series. I did bring home that Golden Helmet Championship ring in the 2017 season, but I gotta say, Rick Craddock. You guys remember he missed a race in this chase, and
yes, he did.
He got his 1 race provisionals for the chase, which was basically the last place point. So he's got a last place finish marked up there, and he's still in 2nd place, only down by 9.
He took a last place finish too. You know what I mean? But he had to go on vacation. He didn't really have no choice. But yeah, he took a last place finish in 10 races.
And that's exactly why we give those 1 provisional. You're not going to get 2, not when it comes down to the chase, but 1 provisional and still in 2nd place. So, that's why we give those out so that everybody can stay competitive, even if they have to miss 1 race in this chase series. And hats off to him. And like I said, it's going to be a battle. I'm looking forward to this race coming up at Homestead, and we'll see what happens. Let's take a look at Friday night. Friday night Xfinity Series also ran at Phoenix this week. And wouldn't you know it, Kilojoules once again in that Lego Star Wars machine. This series also brought home the victory once again at Phoenix, pulling off the sweep, winning all 3 races in all 3 series at Phoenix. So yeah, definitely a great track for Kilojoules. And I think I gave him a little bit of a battle on Wednesday night and Friday night. He was the class of the field. He tweaked on his setup a little bit, and he had a great car. I ran with him a little bit, but I just didn't really have anything for him when it came down to the end. And great job, awesome job on the sweep, and congrats on another victory there, KJ.
Yes, congrats to Kilojoules. Texan did get second, Terry Scott third, Ricky J fourth, and the Momo rounds out the top 5.
Big names up there in the top 5. I was getting after it, weren't they?
Yeah, Momo with the bad luck on Wednesday made up for it a little bit on Friday.
I tell you what, how about Momo in these points and everything? He's got a pretty busy schedule. He has to work around and try to make this point system that would go kind of work to his advantage. And when he shows up, he has to work hard, and he's put himself in. We're mentioning him in all of these, top 5 standings and stuff here. So how about that beer baking team, 54? Good job for them.
Yeah, Momo was in second place, only down by 5 points going into this race. So he did lose a few, but managing to pull off the top 5. He only finished 3 spots behind me.
As bad as he struggled on Wednesday night, that was a major accomplishment for the Momo. I was proud to see him finish where he did on Friday night.
He's digging. He ain't quitting, and that's. I just wanted to point that out. That he's been in there. He's been a player. He's a contender. So he's been working hard. So,
well, let's take a look how the points stand here with 1 race to go in the Xfinity Series as well. I still hold the top spot in this. It's a little bit closer than the Cup Series. Momo was down by 5, only lost 3 points. Still in second place, down by 8. Terry Scott in third, down by 13. You got Pockets in fourth, down by 35, and Brain Fade rounding out the top 5, down by 50.
Well, again, you're right in the same situation. And I tell you, I don't. Larry, you got any stats on this series last year at Homestead?
1 second, I'll pull those up.
Yeah, see, man, the scheduling scoring dudes, man, they rock. That's what keeps us all going right here, because this is where it's at. This is going to determine a lot of things, and I think Momo's.
I do know last year in the trucks, Momo won. That I do know. But last year in this particular race, it was Bama, and then the scheduling part has a error. We get an error, so apparently something was wrong with the export.
I got you.
To the rest of the field. But Bama won this race last year.
There you go, and he's been having some top 5s too on a part-time schedule. And I tell you, Terry Scott back there. He's not done, I don't think. He's been down on himself a little bit in this series particularly, but I mean, top 3, ain't much to complain about.
And the one thing I've got going in this series is rather than looking out for 3 or 4 drivers or 4 or 5 drivers, I've only got about 2 drivers really to watch for in the field and see where they're going to finish. And Wednesday night, having that truck series wrapped up already, I'll be able to get a good feel for what the Friday night race is going to bring, and make some tweaks to my setup if I need to. So hopefully Wednesday night I'll have a decent run, and I'll know where I stand with Momo and Terry Scott coming into this Friday night race.
But that here's the other thing too is that I was just sitting there thinking, even if Momo gets ahead of you on the track, you're okay, but he can't get very far ahead of you or you're in trouble. And it just brings up the scenario of How do you feel going in right now with I wouldn't call that a comfortable lead, would you? I
No,
wouldn't call that
not
comfortable
at
at
all.
all at this point. And you've got two guys, the 54 and the 66, and we've all raced all year long. How do you feel knowing that those two guys, their only objective is to beat you and then beat each other, but beat you first?
Yeah, well, not only that, but just like the Cup Series, I've got the guy in second place right behind me who won the race in the previous year. He didn't win the Xfinity, but he won the truck race, and both of these series are running the CTS physics. So I would imagine maybe Momo had some kind of trouble in the Xfinity race, or maybe wasn't able to make the race, and that's the reason Bama was able to take home the victory. But yeah, knowing that Momo won that race in the truck series, that that just means he's got a great truck. He's got a great CTS setup, and I'm gonna have to work for it. There's no doubt. And in both of these two series, the Cup and the Xfinity, man, yeah, I can't say I'm not nervous, but once again, we've talked about the would you rather be the chaser or the chasee. I would rather already have those points because I can, like you said, Momo's got to finish in front of me, but I just got to make sure he doesn't finish too far in front of me. Whereas Momo, I mean, he's gotta finish in front of me. Whereas I can sit back a little bit and afford to finish one or two spots behind, maybe three spots behind Momo, and possibly still win. So once again, I'd rather be the chasee than the chaser.
I just think there's a lot less pressure trying to catch a guy than there is trying to keep that guy from catching you. But hey, you just got to, you know what I mean. I think you're pretty confident, but something keeps telling me that I think the 54 car is pretty good at this track. So
Yep.
and I mean, you can tell by the standings, he hasn't. It's not been a terrible year at all for them. It's been a great year for them. I mean, look at the performance that puts them that we're in here talking about it.
Killer's got to definitely be able to see the name on the back of his car. That we know for sure.
I've got my work cut out for me, that's for sure. But I definitely am planning on spending a little time this week working on my setups for the truck and the Cup. Because, like I said, I've got my work cut out for me in two of these series, the Cup Series and this Xfinity. So I'm not leaving anything to chance. Yeah, it's kind of like that commander board sign. You really want to win that race, and you really want to get that trophy, and that disappointment that comes, when you finish second place, and you're just almost there but not quite. And I'm really hoping not to feel that disappointment here at the end. I'm hoping to sweep all three of these series. I'm going to do everything I can to try and do that.
Oh, that's good. Killer's going to be practicing and tweaking his sets. That means I'll be getting some race help this week.
Yeah, as long as you don't share with Momo or Terry Scott.
I ain't sharing with nobody, especially for the Friday night. I'm trying to get the top 5 for the Friday night, so I still got a shot at that.
Be glad to give it to them after the race. They can use it next year. in the chase, that's the one time of the season that I get a little bit tight with my freshly tweaked setups. I've given out my sets all throughout the year and last year, so they're out there and they're available, but I'm always tweaking, always trying to make it a little bit better, a little bit faster. And during the chase, that's the one time of the season where I'll get a little bit tight about who I share them with.
He says that, but who did he give his setup to last Friday night? Did you not give your set to Momo last Friday night?
Yeah, I did. I gave it to Momo and Terry, and I gave it to pretty much everybody.
Well, then I mean, there's still a lot of luck involved in this racing thing. So and that can work against you. I've seen luck send people home empty-handed plenty of times. So you got to figure that in. Better be knocking on some wood or doing something. People say, "Oh, I'm not very superstitious." Well, okay, that's you. I am. I'm not driving no green car.
No, no, you won't catch me in a green
I
car.
don't have a $50 bill.
I got a few of them. I usually have them with me every night.
Let's take a look at the Friday night late night dirt series. It is the Voiles Trucking Empire State Dirt Track Championship Series. Just wrapped up this past Friday night. Raced at Canandaigua for the last race of the season. And it was HB Hardy and that number 3 Wrangler's Jeans machine that brought home the victory, the final victory in this season series at Canandaigua. Great job, HB.
Yes, congrats to HB. Ricky J second. Hot Rod was third. Got moved to the back because of a late race incident. Steve Looney gets third. Chevy Chase gets fourth. And Mr. Magoo rounds out the top 5.
I see Chevy Chase there in the top 5 again with that fourth place finish.
He won the championship. Yes, he did. Congrats to Mr. Chevrolet Chase.
Yep, that's what we got to talk about. Let's look at that. Let's look at that score. Good win, Huggy Bear.
Yeah, there are the points with the final race of that series wrapped up. Chevy Chase took the championship with Brian Voiles with a great finish, moving up 2 spots to take over second place down by 12. Brain Fade dropped the spot to third down by 14. BSR Hot Rod also dropped the spot, being moved to the back there. Fourth place down by 21, and Steve Looney moved up a spot to round out the top 5 down by 58. Steve dropped you out of the top 5 there, Pockets. You dropped the spot, and Steve gained it.
Yep. That series right there is the Empire State Series. That was the one where we did 10 races at 5 tracks in the state of New York. We raced 2 times at each track. This is how it shook out. And that's your champion right there, BSR Chevy Chase. I believe that's his first dirt championship, is it not, Larry?
Yes, that is correct.
So he went from, you've heard the story we tell him about how much he complained about not liking dirt, to getting up on that wheel and bringing home a championship. And that's not an easy task. This dirt racing is just super exciting. It's just almost on the verge of out of control, and these guys are getting it down. I mean, the races have been outstanding. I mean, this is something tough to do, to win one of these dirt championships with this group of dirt racers. And so congratulations to Chevy.
But I had a race incident early in the race that would have majorly affected the points had I had moved to the back and reran. The points would have, Chevy still would have won the points had I not got moved back by 1 point, and it would have definitely changed the face of the overall standings.
But there you go. That series was absolutely outstanding. Thanks to Brian and Kathy Voiles. They'll be providing a plaque for Chevy and some Drunken Cow jerky for the top 3. Means Brain Fade's getting more jerky. Man, he's slick with jerky.
Now, is this series going to have a fun run next week before the next season starts up, or is it starting immediately?
Yes, we're starting a new series starting next week. Friday night will be 4 races. Saturday night will be the same track, 4 races, just 2 separate series.
So it's going to be a short season, just a 4-race season?
Yes, and then there will be a championship. The last week of the year, we'll have a championship week double race shootout.
I guess there are a lot of holidays coming up, so there will be some probably off weeks.
Yes. We've got everything scheduled around the holidays. This series is over. The dirt is a big deal. So we're going right back to dirt racing. We're going to work around the holidays. We're going to have something special at the end of the year here for the dirt people. and it's going to be something you're going to want to be a part of. And remember, it, there's 8 races, 4 on Friday and 4 on Saturday. If you want to be a part of the special event championship, you need to come run one of these dirt races. You just got to
Yes.
run one of them to be eligible for the championship at the end. You could come in here and run one dirt race, transfer into the championship round, and win the whole thing. So you can run 2 or 3 races, and there you go. But yeah, also Gordo's been stopping over and running with us. It's good to have him on. He comes on Saturday night, but this deal is this dirt racing's where it's at, man, for the late night crowd. So y'all check it out.
Yes, in order to be eligible for the championship race, you must make one of the eight qualifiers.
Yes. These races start after our normally scheduled primetime races, usually around 10:45 Central, 11:45 Eastern.
Well, let's take a look at the Saturday night team series. This Saturday night, we ran at Talladega for the next to the last race of this season, season number 36. There's a look at your teams. And at Talladega this week, it was BSR SS Joba and that number 56 ghost flavored Chevy Impala. Or is that a
That's a
Yeah.
Camaro.
Camaro? Chevy Camaro, excuse me. Rallying it back for the ghost team, taking the victory this week at Talladega. Great job, SS.
Yes, great job, SS.
Yeah, we
2 times. That's a 2-timer, and he's already won once earlier this season, didn't he?
No, he
Didn't
has not.
he win the first one?
No, I believe
Yeah,
I won the first
Texan
2.
won the. Yes,
He won the
Texan won the
first
first
2.
But
He
SS,
has. Oh, okay.
SS and I finished 1-2 in those first 2 races.
That might be what I'm. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
You just won 4 races total. You do realize that, right?
Yeah, we won 4, and we were down in second place going into this race, but with that victory, the Ghost team has moved back to the top of the board. The Reaper team, I believe, had a 6th place finish in this race. 6th or 7th was where they their best finisher was. So Ghost moves back up to the top spot with the Carolina Reaper team dropping down to 2nd, only down by 2 points. And you've got the Hot team sitting there in 3rd, down by 14. Original down by 35. Beer Bacon down by 37, and Teriyaki rounding out the teams down by 66. So 1 race left to go, and 2 points separates the top 2 teams. And really, that Hot team only 14 points back is
Yeah, I was
really,
gonna say,
they're
you
still
can't
in
count
it.
them out. Yep, you can't count them out. They're still there.
Yeah, the Hot team's just mad, so figure that in.
Figure
We had
you
bad
better
luck.
watch out for the Hot team. If they're coming up on you, you might
Well,
want to get out of the way.
Here's what I said. Being 14 back, I mean, you know how this series is. There's going to be, come on.
3
You
lanes
know
and
what I
no
mean?
waiting.
I mean, this is, and we're at last race Daytona
Yes, it is.
under the lights.
Yeah, no, that's a schedule
Regular?
mistake. Regular
All right.
Daytona.
That's fine. That's fine. Well, there you go. It's going to be Daytona a little bit, not quite as wide, bit more close quarters racing. That's going to be, I tell you, I was just sitting here thinking that they won 4 Saturday night team series Battle of the 6 Flavors races. 1 flavor did, and it's still that close. That'll tell you, let me tell you something. That series right there is tough to win at, man. You have got to be on your toes and do everything just right to be able to get a win. I mean, people are happy with a 2nd or 3rd place finish because of the way the points are. You might not be losing as many or whatever, but that's going to be exciting to go in. What's your thoughts going into that there as a member of the Ghost team there, Texan?
Well, I can tell you what I'm going to be selling this next week. I'll be glad to finish 2nd place or 3rd place to the Hot team, so long as we can finish in front of that Carolina Reaper team and bring home the championship this season. It It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. That Reaper team has been real consistent all season long. Those three drivers have been working great together, staying up towards the front for most of the race, and yeah, it's going to be a battle, no doubt.
So basically, if Ghost pulls it off next Saturday night, we will have determined who the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday DrunkenCowJerky.com Racing Series champions are in all three series, and it's a good possibility that all three of them could be yours, and then this could be the little cherry on top of your best week ever. Is taking
Not only to
season
take those,
36 of
yeah,
the Team
yeah,
Series Battle of the Six Flavors. So
yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't even think about that. That would just top it all off right there.
yeah, that could and man, that's gonna be the best week ever. And again, I'm so glad that I'm gonna be here with you to celebrate it.
I was thinking something a little different along them lines, but that's all right.
Well, you know,
Robbing his thunder on Saturday night. At least we can manage to do that, Plunkins.
I mean, there's probably going to be a few people that are seeing him toting around those championship trophies are going to be like, Saturday night. Well, I guess we'll see.
Well, there's some people thinking about robbing my thunder on Thursday and Friday night too. So, that's not in the bag yet, and I really don't want to jinx anything. But hey, what can I say? That would be a great topper to come, but it's not going to be easy for this Ghost team here on Saturday night. Like I said, that Reaper team, they've been running really good all season long. I believe they've also won 3 races out of this series this season. Is that right?
Absolutely. So yeah, that's going to be an epic battle right there. 2 point. I mean, it's from the time the green flag drops, there's going to be some muscles. They're going to be muscling their way, and one's going to be playing defense, one's going to be playing offense, and they're going to start right. There ain't going to be no let's take it easy. They're going to race hard right from the beginning for over 100 laps. So that's going to be.
Yeah, this is going to be one race. This is going to be one race where that that lead the most laps bonus point just might make the difference at the end of the race.
You gotta consider it. You got to consider it.
They've only won 2 races so far, Texan, but both of them have come at Daytona.
Well, that's nice to know.
Well, I've already made the statement that the hot team's coming for a win, just for a statement, just to say that yes, we were here.
I do know one thing, Pockets. I got a pretty bad fast car at Daytona. It may not be as fast at Talladega, but I'm definitely fast at Daytona.
Oh, you bet. Y'all are fighting with beer bacon there too, so
yes, sir.
Better keep eye on them yellow cars.
That's okay. I just know you need to win, so following you.
Well, let's move on and take a look here at the Saturday night late night dirt series. Foyle's Trucking Dirt Series on Saturday night. This was a little mini series here just to put in enough races to finish off a season at the same time as all of the other races this year. So it was just a 3-race season. But it was some great racing, especially last night. Last night we ran at the Springfield Mile, and man, I tell you, that track in the dirt, it's one of the biggest dirt track that we run. It's got some long straightaways on it. It's a big wide track in the turns, and there's a lot of different lanes, a lot of different driving styles, and that was a crazy race last night in the dirt. I mean, there was a lot of 3 wide, maybe even some 4 wide here and there. A lot of close racing. It was absolutely a great race last night.
Yes, it was.
And bringing home the victory at Springfield, it was BSR Hot Rod in that teriyaki flavored Drunken Cow Jerky machine, polishing off the season there with another dirt victory. The Foot Doctor. Great job, Larry.
Yep, knew I couldn't get the championship, so I had to go out and get the win. HB got 2nd, Ricky J got 3rd, Brian Wills 4th, and Monty Keller 5th.
Mike.
Mike!
Let's take a look at the points here after 3 races. It was BSR Ricky J bringing home that top spot with Hot Rod with the victory moving up 3 spots to take over second down by 11. Monty Keller also moved up a spot to take over third down by 16. BSR Brian Voiles moved up 2 spots to take over fourth down by 21. And myself, BSR Texan, dropped all the way back to 5th place, losing 3 spots in that race, down by 22. So great job, Ricky J, putting together a great 3 races there and pulling off that championship in that little 3 race season. Awesome job. Congrats, man.
Yes,
Great job, Ricky J.
that was just our little 3 race segment for the very first of the Voiles Trucking Saturday Night Dirt. The dirt has been so good to us that we've decided that late night Friday and Saturday we're going to dedicate to just dirt racing, because there's a lot of tracks and there's a lot of good racing. And the beauty of this is every time we go back to those tracks, man, it's just like Texan was saying, that race last night was, aren't you glad you were just in that race? Just it didn't really matter where you finished. You're just glad to be a part of that, because that was awesome.
That was a fun race, and I tell you, you end up kind of in these dirt races, you'll move from the front to the back, to the front to the back as incidents happen. And as you were toward the back of the field, just watching what's going on in front of you and all the cars spread out 2 wide, 3 wide. It was great just to be even at the back. You didn't mind being back there because you got to look at some really cool, awesome racing that was going on in front of you. It was a lot of fun. That was a great race.
I even went back and looked at some of it, the replay of it, just watching it from Spectator and TV One and everything, and it was outstanding.
They claim that you got to be in the low line, but you can pass guys on the outside and you can work that track. There's multiple grooves in that track. That track runs really good.
Well, you can line up some dirt cars and race on it, I can tell you that.
Yes, that's for sure.
Let's go ahead and we'll take our time here like we always do as we're getting ready to wrap up the show, and thank all of our great sponsors. Let's thank Mark and Richard Heyman over at Drunken Cow Jerky. I'd like to thank Brian and Kathy Voiles over at Voiles Trucking. Rick Craddock, Real Tech LLC. BSR Scar from WLS Graphics. I'd also like to thank RJ Rusty over at the Medicine Chest Pharmacy. He's been in a few races lately. And BSR Tyler and Rhoda over at Hello Sunshine Hello. Now, I meant to get her real name in there, and I even asked Tyler. He was in here the other night. What's Rhoda's real name?
Morgan.
Morgan. There we go. BSR Tyler and Morgan over at Hello Sunshine Hello. And we appreciate everything all of our sponsors do for us. They really help us a lot here at BSR with all the great prizes and helping us have such great racing and, such great drivers that we have here to race. Like we said, once again, I couldn't ask for a better place to come and race every night and a better group of guys to race with.
I hear you, brother. You fix to get some hardware and some beef jerky too if you pull this off next week. I'm excited about championship week and seeing what all happens. I'm just excited to be there. And thanks to all our sponsors for making it possible. And we're gonna have some live updates next week and everything like that. So just stay tuned, and we'll be doing trying to get you connected here as good as we can during championship week, because this is gonna be pretty exciting, pretty fun. So good luck, Texan.
Hey, thank you.
Yes, good luck, Texan.
Thank you very much. We are all looking forward to next week at Homestead. It's going to be real exciting. We're going to finish off all 3 of these series, and we hope you all will join us again next week for the spotter stand as we go over the end of the season. And we'll have another great week of racing coming up for you here this week. And we appreciate everybody joining us and tuning in live here at the spotter stand. And we will see you guys all next week at Homestead.
See you in Miami.
See you later.
Sound.